Welcome to the first module of the course, and this is by far, hands down, the most important video of this course. If you were to watch just one video from this course, it should be this one. Do not skip ahead. Listen to each and every word that I say. Mindset is how you think, how you believe, and how you approach a particular topic or a subject or anything in life, basically. For in this case, how you approach studying, and it's all mental. And I believe that most of the things in our life can be solved if we have a right mindset. But mindset is a term which gets thrown around pretty everywhere, basically, in the self-improvement world, and no one really understands and defines what it means. So I'll cover specific parts of mindset which you need to keep in your mind while approaching studying. First, you need to have a very strong why for the reason you're studying. Like, why are you studying? Why are you actually doing this? I'll tell you a personal story. A very close friend of mine, she's almost a sister. She is a sister, and she's as good as me in studying. If we talk about her NEET scores, because we are bio students from bioinformatics, she has a better NEET score than me. However, I get better CGPA than her, because one of the reasons she often shares with me is, I don't know why I'm doing this. Like, she actually does not know. Another friend of mine, she got such a good score in JEE Advanced. Same for her. She does not know why she's studying these concepts, these topics. For me, I have my why pretty clear. I'm not going to reveal it here, but I know why I'm studying. Is it for placement? No. Is it for a good job? No. But I know what it is for me. So I'm not going to share my why because it's really personal, but some examples of why could be to get a good placement, to get into a dream company. Like, if you have a dream of such going to a pretty good company, you could be that, like Mang, whatever you want to call it, to get into a startup, to build something really cool. My friend Sarthak, he's like, for him the why is super clear. This guy just lives and breathes computer science. So for him the why is pretty clear. He would not do anything other than software engineering. So for him the why is pretty clear. You need to just understand, why are you studying this? Why do you actually care about this? Because this is the foundation. If this is not right, then everything we build on top of that will fall down. So let me just think of a few other examples of strong whys and then give it to you. Yes, a few examples could be, in my case, for our college, you want to be a 9-pointer just so that you can have 0 attendance and you can skip classes. Another friend of mine, Suraj, he just did that. He had like 8.6-ish in the first semester, and he got 9.4 in this semester, and now his average is 9 point something. So now he can skip classes. He just called me and he was so happy about it. And other examples, now this is in the micro level for this particular semester, but in the macro level, it could be that you want to go and study abroad, and for that you need to be on the top of your class. You need to be a really good student. For those reasons, you have that strong why that you want to go and study abroad. You want to get a placement, I've already covered. You want to get a particular job which requires this degree. Not this degree, but a particular degree. So for example, if you want to go for any government exam preparations, then they require a degree. So you want to complete this degree with good grades so that you can have a better profile over there. All of these are examples of having a strong why. Now, the second point, don't hate 9-pointers. I'm not saying this to put a wall in front of me so that the hate doesn't come to me. For those of you who know me, I love getting hated. Like, I'd rather you hate me than not care about me. So I don't care about your hate. But you can't have something which you hate. And that is a very strong principle to live by. You can't be rich if you hate rich people, if you hate money. You can't be successful in dating if you hate the opposite sex. You can't be healthy if you hate healthy people. If you hate good, like actual healthy food, it's not going to work. And also, hating does you no benefit. I see this very glamorized, very commonly said saying, like it's very common to hate on 9 pointers and say that you're jealous of them. Jealousy is a different thing. Jealousy is when you want what the other person has. You guys just hate 9 pointers like they're freaking from hell. They're Nazis. I don't really understand. This does you no help. No help in improving your CGPA. And most important thing is that you hate that person, but you want what that person has. How the fuck is that rational? I genuinely don't understand this. And you can see me, I'm getting very passionate about it because, yeah, this is pretty ridiculous for me. You hate someone and you want what that person has. So how are you going to get it if you hate what that person has? Don't hate 9 pointers. It's of no use for you. And this is also on a side note, all of those misandrists and misogynists, if you want the other person as a life partner, the other sex as a life partner, you can't hate them. Anyway, next point. This goes back to the previous video that I made. No one is born smart. There is ample research on both sides that you can use anyone as an anchor to justify your point that no, he's just born smart, they're just genetically, they have better wirings in their brain. Bullshit. One of the strong beliefs that I have is you should not adopt any belief if it does not serve you, even if it is true. Even if I say that, yes, you know, if you would have asked me this question like, bro, how are you so, like, how do you get so much good grades? And if I want to make sure that you don't compete with me, I will say, yeah, I'm just naturally good at it. I've always been good at it. Done. Situation over. And you now have an excuse that, yeah, Tim is already good at it. He has been naturally good at it. And that's why I can't be like him. I can't be as good as him in studies. And that is what we use. By we, I mean the people on the top of the academic hierarchy, to keep the competition low. I'm really revealing the secrets here, honestly. So I honestly and strongly believe that everything is learnable and everything is teachable. Now it's up to us to decide whether the resources required to teach that skill to that person are worth it or not. To quote Alex Hormozi, my mentor and teacher, he says that a kid with Down syndrome, which is a mental disability disorder, can be made a neurosurgeon. Now the question is whether the resources, the time, energy and effort required to make that kid with Down syndrome a neurosurgeon is worth it or not. And I believe becoming a better learner is always worth it. It's 100% worth it. Next, this just builds upon my previous point. If you've been a quote average student always, and you have the belief that I can't just study, I really don't understand how it. I've never been on the top of the academic hierarchy in my class. None of these beliefs serve you. Just one of these, if any of these beliefs comes into your mind, just ask yourself, does this belief help me or does this belief harm me? Does this belief move me closer to my goals, or does this belief move me farther from my goals? If it moves you farther, you just have to disregard that belief. And another important thing is labels. Like we label people, okay, this person is lazy, this person is an average student, this person is XYZ. A label basically is a word that we coined for, is an umbrella term for many different traits, many different actions that that person performs or does not perform. Why is that person lazy? Okay, so it's 11 in the morning and he's still sleeping. I tell him to do a chore, he does not do it. He's always on his phone. He eats and does not keep his plates in the sink. All of these actions make him lazy. What that means is that if he does not perform those actions, he performs the opposite of his actions. He wakes up on time, he cleans up where he sits, he puts his plates in the sink, he remains neat and tidy. He is not a lazy person. The labels do not exist. It's just actions. Please, I want you to drill this deep in your mind that it's all about actions. If a person is where you want to be and you are not there, it's because they took the actions consistently for a long period of time to get there. It's all about action. And also, keep this in mind that this course will teach you how to study for marks. People glamorize and romanticize this idea of no, you should not study for marks, you should study for learning, you should study to get the knowledge and all of that stuff. And honestly, I've been with so many people who are great academically, and all of them have a specific focus on marks. Even if we go by the approach of studying for learning and studying to improve your own knowledge, I like game theory. Game theory, for those of you who don't know, it's like an economics principles, all of that. I like that. I like to study that for knowledge and learning, for my own interest. But if it becomes a course, I would lose the knowledge, I would lose the interest that I have for it, because then I would have to study it, understand, do the questions, and I would be graded in it. So then my approach would be different, because I can just, okay, I'm studying this game theory, I'm studying this principle, I can watch a story about it and it can be really cool. I just have to just really cover surface level stuff. But when it comes to marks, you have to get down to the specifics, solve questions, understand the concepts. So studying for your own knowledge and studying for marks are completely different things. Now, very important. This is also a very important topic. Now, this is not just in studies. This is everywhere. This is in the gym as well, and this is especially there when you want to lose weight. As all of this is there, you will meet quote unquote gurus. They'll be your peers, they might be your parents, they might be your elders who will teach you. And no, you should not study like this. If it comes to losing weight and doing exercise, they'll tell you, no, you should not exercise like this. You want to lose weight, right? Just take warm water, squeeze lemon, drink it for 30 days, you'll lose weight. And they themselves are weighing 120 kilograms. And same is with people who give you free studying advice. This guy has a CGPA of 7 and they're saying, no bro, this is not important. This is not important for the syllabus. This teacher has told this. Fuck you. At this point, just fuck them. Because one of the strongest beliefs that I have adopted is that I take advice only from people who have the outcome that I want. I would take advice from you on studying if you have a CGPA better than me. I would take advice from you on exercising if you have a better body than me. And I would only take money advice from people who are richer than me. So yeah, just face and confront reality, and people will tell you that in my gym there was a guy who was not body shaming, but he was really thin, and he was teaching me about the form of a bench press, and I just did not listen to him. I listened to another guy who was pretty jacked, and then he was like, no bro, I do boxing, I'm gonna boxing, you'll see me, I'll rock everyone out. The reality is not what is in his brain. The reality is that this guy is thin and he does not have the body that I want. We need to confront reality, keep emotions on one side. This guy is not richer than me. And like, it even comes down to your parents, honestly. Your parents will tell you you should study in a certain way, and yeah, sorry for that. Your parents will tell you that you should study in a certain way, how they used to do it. If they are good at studying and they have been an academically superior student always, you should listen to them. If they have not been, you should not listen to them. I know this sounds harsh and rude, and I'm teaching people not to listen to their parents, but please take my advice with a pinch of salt and see why I'm giving this advice, okay? Now, very important again. I told you this whole video is very important. So, one of the things that you need to put yourself into a habit is accepting that it's your fault. You do not have a good CGPA, that is my fault. I do not have a good CGPA, that is my fault. It is not the teacher's fault, not the material's fault, not the college's fault, not the competition's fault. It is my freaking fault. Because if you keep blaming the teacher, you are not going to change the teacher. I mean, in reality, you can have a different teacher, but you can't change the way this person teaches. You can't change the material that you have been given. You can't change other people. The only person or thing you have control over is what you do, what you yourself do. So I would highly recommend not to follow this blame game, because it leads you nowhere and it just gives your mind a reason to believe that, okay, someone else is responsible for my incompetencies. I'm a big believer in accepting fault, because if you accept your faults, it's only then that you can correct them. Now, coming back to my previous point, you need to see reality objectively. By objectively, I mean, what do you have? You have these eyes, you can see and you can hear. You have these ears. Anything that's about, I feel like this, I feel like that. Emotions are important, I get it. But in this case, we're just going to keep them aside. What is the reality saying? One of the examples that I believe is that, let's say you have a 5-module syllabus, you have this big syllabus and you have this final exams coming up. You'll say, I feel like this topic is more important. If a teacher has said it, then you should definitely give more attention to that. I feel like this, if there's no reason behind your belief and you just feel like this is important, if you feel like you could be asked. Sometimes feelings are right, but it's more appropriate to go off of the objectivity. For example, if you see the last 10 years if you just see 10 papers, 10 previous year papers, and you find that this particular question has been asked 6 times, then you should go for that question and study that. That is objective. But if you just feel like, yeah, I feel like this topic could be important, I feel like this topic could not be important, then it's absolutely, not absolutely, but 80% of the time it's not correct. Because you could have a feel for different things, and this is one of the things that once you let's say you feel like something could be asked, and then you go to the exam and then you saw that was asked, then you would have this cognitive confirmation bias that, oh, I knew this would be asked. But you felt the same thing for 5 different topics, that yeah, they could be asked, and then one of them came. Then you have the confirmation that what I feel is correct. But no, you were only 20% right. I hope I'm making sense. Now, you've come 20 minutes far into a video. I know many of them have skipped this video. Many of them have lost a lot of people, but that's good. Your competition is getting decreased. Now, ladies and gentlemen, see, this is the first video I know many people will watch, and you might not implement these things. You might not go and watch the future videos, which are actually very important. So, it's fine. I mean, I gain nothing or I lose nothing from you watching these videos or not watching these videos. I honestly don't have a problem. Now you have to suffer the consequences, because what will happen is that The exams will come. The exams are not going to stop. And then it will be on you whether you made the changes or not. We change when the pain of remaining the same is greater than the pain of change. Right now, you're in a spot which you don't like, and this happens with most of the people. Like my friends, they're so sad for 3-4 days, they'll ask me for advice, and then next time when I give them the advice, they won't execute it. And then in the exams, they're like, bro, teach. I'm like, I'm not gonna teach you. So if the pain of remaining the same is not deep enough, you're not going to change. So if you feel like you're not going to implement these tactics, implement these videos, then just don't bother to begin with it. Like, go watch reels, go watch some good movie series. There are actually some good series out there. Go and watch these people and stay the same, and even get a bit lower CGPA and get lower marks. Okay, maybe that will help you. Maybe that will help you increase the pain of remaining the same. Okay, just do whatever you're doing and get the same marks, or even get the worse marks than you were getting previously. Yeah, just do that. What I mean to say is that it's you who decides whether the pain of remaining the same is greater than the pain of change or not. Because change is painful, remaining same is painful, everything is painful. Next, what we want to say is that this course might not make you the best 10-pointer top scorer of your college. Very less likelihood that is going to make you that if you're not that good at studies right now. What it can help you do is move towards that direction. Direction is more important than speed. If you just steer yourself, that's a good analogy, it's a good example from the book Atomic Habits. If a plane is moving from if a plane which is taking off from Los Angeles is rotated 3.5 degrees, its nose is rotated just 3.5 degrees. 3.5 degrees is barely anything. If it's rotated like that, it's moved south 3.5 degrees, then instead of landing in New York, it will land in Washington DC. Thousands of miles different, thousands of miles apart. So that just illustrates the point of incremental improvements. So we are just directionally correct. Will this course increase the likelihood that you get better marks? 100% yes. Will it make you the 10-pointer and the topper of the college? Maybe not. So with that said, this completes the first module of the course, probably the most important module, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.